Welcome back, everyone. Mike Trout, the great center fielder for the Angels, comes from Millville, New Jersey, not too far from our Secaucus, New Jersey studio. So it's hardly surprised that his hometown is full of Mike Trout fans, but perhaps his biggest fan is one special 8-year-old Millville boy. And the story of that boy and his connection to Trout is a story you should know about. Here's Matt Vescursion.
My favorite baseball player is Mike Trout. And I bet I'm his #1 fan.
At first glance, Thomas Walkup may look like any other 8-year-old boy talking about his baseball hero.
If Mike Trout was right in front of you, what would you say to him?
I would tell him that I live in Millville and I live in his hometown.
But Thomas is not your typical 8-year-old. And how he got to meet his baseball hero is certainly not a typical story.
I wrote him a letter. You can't show him this before the game.
And what did you write to him in the letter?
I said thank you so much for doing all these things for me.
What do you see?
E-N.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't see the rest.
You can't see the rest. Okay.
Shortly after birth, Thomas developed infantile nystagmus syndrome, also known as shaky eyes. It's a severe vision disorder that makes almost all of what Thomas sees blurry.
The child with nystagmus doesn't see the world shaking, they just know they don't see very clearly. If you ask them, hold your eyes still and look at something, they're incapable of doing that.
Thomas never got to see me clear. Thomas never got to see anything clear. Thomas would never be able to get a driver's license. He would never be able to play baseball. You know, I watch my son and he wants to be like everybody, and to be able to look at him and tell him that he can't do things is very, very difficult as a mom.
After a lot of research, Susan Banks found one of the very few doctors in the world that specialized in performing the life-changing eye surgery that Thomas needed.
This was his one chance to be able to live a normal life. And once you get that excitement down a little bit, you realize, oh my gosh, this is in California and we have to be there for 3 weeks. How are we going to afford this?
I was like, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. You know, we start thinking of, you know, fundraisers or something.
And that's when the town of Millville got involved.
The community really backed behind me, and one of the first people that reached out was Debbie Trout.
The cause was wonderful. You know, Thomas getting the chance to see again. I just thought about how truly blessed we are, and if we can help someone else, why not?
Debbie talked to me like a mom to a mom and knew what I was feeling.
Well, it's a mom thing. when you have kids and one of your kids is hurting or anything like that, people just pull together.
Through fundraisers and various donations, over $18,000 was raised to help cover travel costs for the family's nearly month-long trip to California. But that wasn't all. Debbie Trout knew how much her son meant to Thomas.
Mike was like his favorite player, so I said, well, then I'm going to do something a little bit better than that. I said, I'm going to contact the Angels and see if they can help out in any way.
He had this letter that was stamped from the Angels that said that they wanted to send him to Disneyland and meet Mike Trout, and this boy was just on top of the world with this.
Thomas and his family flew to California on August 9th. 4 days later, Thomas underwent 3.5 hours of eye surgery. The operation was remarkably successful.
Before surgery, I couldn't see my mom's eyes from up close, but now I could see them all the way from across the room.
Thomas had his Angels uniform. That's what he wanted to come home with from the hospital, and he had it on, and his band that had Mike Trout, and he just keeps telling Dr. Lingo, I just want to be good for this game, doctor. I just want to be good for the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Angel Stadium, the home of your Angels.
And so the day came. 8 days after surgery, Thomas was going to Angel Stadium to see a baseball game clearly for the first time in his life. And more importantly to Thomas, He would get to see his hero up close.
The fact that Thomas is going to see Mike Trout, and that's like his first really big thing to see, is just going to be priceless.
Cool. Where's my Trout? Looking for my Trout.
All my son talked about was going to meet Mike Trout. I don't know how that moment's going to be. I don't know how it's going to be for him, and I can tell you as a mom, I don't know how it's going to be for me.
Mike, what's up, buddy?
Nothing.
How are you?
Good.
Nice to meet you, bud.
Nice to
Good to
meet
meet you. Got my wristbands on. There you go, at the hat. First time out in California?
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice.
You have to say to him.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
For me, Mike Trout has been my hero because he's done this for my son.
You watching BP?
Yeah.
There you go.
Here goes, here. You see the
Oh,
ball?
look at that one. Whoa, it hit the rocks.
Now, he could have never done that last week.
It felt special being near the batting cage.
You put your hands together, buddy.
Me and Mike talked about that was from Millville and he was too.
Favorite part of Millville? Jim's lunch. Jim's lunch.
Yeah. I like Arby's more.
Arby's more than Jim's lunch? Really?
Yeah. So I thought I was special because I bet no one else met him. Look, my child signed it.
Oh, how cool.
He just thinks it's cool that him and Mike Trout are friends, you know, and Mike Trout cares enough about him to hear about his story.
Oh, my God! Hit a home run! Woo! He's looking at me.
There's your over here.
The look on Thomas's face, just being so excited to be here and to be able to see it was a really good experience. You know, I watched my son see things today that he would have never seen a week ago.
You ready? Did you have fun today? Coming out here, were you more excited to get your eyes fixed, or were you more excited to meet Mike Trout?
Pretty much just my Trout.
Appreciate this, buddy. Have a hug.
My surgery is just a surgery, and he's a famous baseball player, so I would rather meet a famous baseball player than have eye surgery. But the eye surgery was pretty good too.
Oh, how cute is he? Thomas and his family are flying back from California right now. And as you can see, Thomas's vision has already improved a lot. His doctors tell us his vision will continue to get better over the next 6 to 12 weeks. A great story, a touching story. Mike Trout is the best player in the game, and a lot of players want to be like him, Pedro. But they should also pay attention to the way he is off the field too, right?
I think this is a moment for every player out there to understand, see what they mean to certain people, what the whole package of being a big league player could mean to not only this kid, but the many others, the millions of people that watch baseball. The responsibility that we have to carry around when it comes to being that role model star that they're looking at. Before you get your hands dirty in anything else, you have to think about what you mean to people like that little kid. What it means to him, what kind of difference you can make in someone's life. So I think this serves as a real good example of how the complete package of a person, a player, and a father, a brother, an individual you have to be while you play baseball.
Just the power of the platform that you have as a player.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fighting back tears. That was powerful stuff because it was genuine, it was real. And I think you don't understand as a player or as a person until you have an opportunity to have an impact on another life. And as precious as that little guy was and is, the life, Mike Trout went to a whole nother level for me.
Oh, yeah.
I've known Mike since he came here at 17 years old. And he gives himself and understands who he is. But a lot of times guys get to a level where they start thinking you're bigger than the game. And you're bigger than why and the purpose you're playing this game. And I love that about Mike. because he hasn't ever forgot who he is or where he came from and the impact he can have. But that's everybody across the board.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't about money. Could Mike Trout have written a check? Yeah, he's got a $144 million contract. Money doesn't get it all the time. It's that time.
Yeah.
People want your time. Give your time. And I know you can't give it to everybody, but there are causes and things that you can do, and you can change and impact a life. That was powerful, man.
Yeah. The powerful word there is can. Everyone can.
Yeah.
You can make an impact.
Wow.
Great story there. We're going to take a break on MLB tonight. As we go to break, a ballpark cam of a guy that's making an impact on the field for the Minnesota